From the mesmerizing waterfalls to the jaw-dropping beaches, strategically placed cities, breathtaking coastlines, and surreal sights, Portugal is a beautiful country to visit. Whether you are going as a loner or with a troupe, you can rest assured that you will find your place and thrive with the right guide, just as this one. This video will be your ultimate guide for solo travel to Portugal. Not only is it one of the safest countries in Europe, but it's also beautiful, charming, and affordable.
Oh my God!
Plus, Portuguese cities are super walkable, and public transportation makes getting around easy. And if you prefer to move around in a taxi, it's affordable and faster. Whether you're exploring Lisbon, Porto, the Algarve, Madeira, the Azores, or beyond, there are tons of opportunities to meet new people while learning about Portugal's culture, food, and history. In this guide, we'll cover all the best places for solo travel in Portugal, what to do, what to eat and do on your own, how to get around, and tips for staying safe while making the most of your adventure. Best places to visit in Portugal. There are beautiful cities in Portugal you can explore as a solo traveller, including Lisbon, Lagos, and Porto. If you're looking to get absorbed in Portuguese culture, then Lisbon is the perfect location for you. While in Lisbon, you should also consider a trip to the Algarve, where you can relax at the red sand beaches, the most beautiful beaches in Europe. Moreover, how do you intend to make the most of your stay if you don't have all the necessary information about the country? That's why you have to subscribe to this channel. Before embarking on a solo trip to Portugal, it's advisable to get all the information that will benefit your stay. From the cost of living to the way of life of the locals, we've got you covered in the channel. You can start from Porto. There are many reasons to visit Porto, but the fact that it's more local and less touristy than Lisbon makes it a good place to start. From the intricate blue azulejos to the lesser visited neighbourhoods like Bonfim, it has a cosy character that some say Lisbon has lost to gentrification. What are the things to do in Porto as a solo traveller or even an expat on vacation? Visit the tiled buildings such as the Chapel of Souls, Carmo Church, Santo Ildefonso Church, and São Bento train station to take in the beauty. Join a free walking tour to get a comprehensive overview of Porto's history and culture. Taste sweet port wine in Vila Nova de Gaia across the river. You can book a cellar tour with tastings, visit the World of Wine Centre, or enjoy a tasting at a riverside bar for as little as €1 per glass. When done tasting the best wines, explore the picturesque Ribeira waterfront area and consider embarking on a 6 Bridges boat cruise. For panoramic vistas, ascend the Clerigos Tower or the rooftop of Porto Cathedral. Catch the sunset from spots like Luís I Bridge, Jardim de Moro, or Miradouro de Vitoria. Many popular bars in Porto offer spectacular views at sundown. Seek out the Half-Rabbit mural by Bordalo II and other captivating street art murals in Porto. Visit Livraria Lello for a touch of Harry Potter history, although it can be quite crowded. Personally, I wasn't enamoured with it. Take a stroll along the historic street, Rua das Flores, when the weather is pleasant. It is ideal for shopping and people watching. Indulge in local cuisine at the bustling Mercado de Bolhao. Enjoy surfing and savour seafood in the beach town of Matosinhos, just a short metro ride away. Consider walking back to the city through the charming Foz de Douro neighbourhood. No Porto itinerary would be complete without a day trip to the Douro Valley. This rugged region is characterised by sweeping vistas and vineyards producing spectacular wine. Half a day is enough to tour the valley. When done, don't forget to cruise down the Pinarro River aboard a boat trip. It's one of the best things to do in Portugal. Thinking of where to stay in Porto? There are more than tens of hostels and hotels with a superb rating, over 9 out of 10 stars on Hostelworld, something you barely ever see. They are world-class and extremely affordable. Next is Lisbon. Lisbon is surely one of the most captivating and charming cities in the world. With fantastic viewpoints and historic neighbourhoods, this hilly city is a must for solo travel in Portugal. Although there are famous world-class tourist attractions in Lisbon, it's a city where you can wander for hours, stumbling across historic cafes open for centuries and rewarding yourself for steep climbs with sweet pastel de natas. It's heaven. It's recommended that you plan at least 3 days in Lisbon because there's tons to see and do. Regarding things to do in Lisbon, soak up city views from the famous miradouros of São Pedro de Alcântara and Senhora do Monte. Don't forget to check out the National Pantheon rooftop. Visit cool Bairro Alto neighbourhood for free fado shows when you buy a drink. I personally went there alone and experienced the lively nightlife. Explore art galleries such as the Chairo Museum and Museu Coleção and venture through the historic and hilly Alfama district to discover the Fado Museum, Lisbon Cathedral and breathtaking views. Lastly, walk along the walls of São Jorge Castle, rich with 2,000 years of history. Your trip to Lisbon will be incomplete without visiting the sophisticated waterfront area of Cais do Sodre, where you can visit sites such as Praça do Comércio, the picturesque Pink Street, and the vibrant Time Out Market. What about Baixa, the city centre? Take a walk through to experience Rocio Square and a ride on the Santa Justa lift to the historic Carmo Convent. Consider taking a half-day trip to the historic Belém district to see attractions like Jerónimos Monastery, Belém Tower, and to taste the renowned Pastéis de Belém, known as the birthplace of egg custard tarts. Don't miss the unique LX Factory, a renovated warehouse located along the Tagus River filled with shops, eateries, colourful murals, and a trendy library named Ler Devagar. Next is Sintra. It's undeniable that Sintra is an absolute beauty, but it's also one of the busiest and most crowded places in Portugal. This town is a 45-minute train ride from Lisbon, and it brims with several attractions, the main one being Pena Palace. You can also visit the Moorish castle and Quinta de Regalera, with its beautiful initiation well. You can easily spend a whole day in Sintra, or stay overnight to explore the attractions at your leisure. Lastly, plan to spend the weekend in Algarve. You might be thinking if visiting this region is a good idea, considering how popular it is with vacationers from the UK and US, including families and groups on party holidays. So, would it still be suitable for a solo traveller? The answer is yes. Obviously, there are some places to avoid like Taqui Albufeira, but there are also some real gems. You've got Faro and Lagos to see, and in actual fact, more interesting places like Sagres, Tavira and Portimao. You wouldn't even want to go back home. From surfing to kayaking through fascinating cliff formations, hiking and basking on the beaches, the Algarve provides the perfect mix of relaxation and adventure. The towns below are very safe and pleasant, and they have decent hostels. Now that you have an idea of great places to visit, how about the cost? What are the typical average daily expenses for a solo traveller in Portugal? Expected cost. If you are planning to stay in a hostel, not because you're broke, but to meet and mingle with others, you can budget 20 to 40 euros per night in a 4-star rating hostel, depending on the location. In contrast, a hotel or Airbnb of a similar rating should cost around 50 to 75 euros per night. Plus feeding, transport, and a little allowance for pleasure, you should budget 70 to 100 euros per day as a solo traveller. Downsides. Now, this guide won't be completed without mentioning a few realistic downsides for travellers. Firstly, you have to be mindful of the seasons you choose for your trip, because in the summer, everywhere is crowded and accommodations can be pricey and scarce. Secondly, to be honest, Portugal isn't as cheap as portrayed online. It's not the cheapest place to visit, especially if you are a budget traveller, compared to Asia, Eastern Europe, and parts of Latin America, but it's also not too expensive. Other helpful tips for solo travellers. In addition to what we've covered, here are a few basic helpful tips that can save you some stress during your solo travel. 1. Ensure you purchase travel insurance in case of an emergency. We have a great suggestion in the description. 2. It's disputable that Portugal is safe. Notwithstanding, wear pickpocket-proof clothing and keep your purse or bag in front of you. 3. Learn some basic Portuguese, especially if you plan to visit remote locations. And if you don't, you can download the app we recommend to learn Portuguese fast and enjoy 7 days free of charge. You'll find the link in the description. 4. It's advisable you stay in a hostel or book tours to meet other solo travellers. Talking about tours, what are the various tour options you can explore? You've got city walking tours. A walking tour is one of the best ways to get to know a new city. Many cities in Portugal offer walking tours that showcase the best of the city's history, culture, and architecture. Check out this highly rated Lisbon Highlights tour. You also have food and wine tours. Portugal is renowned for its delicious cuisine and wine, and a food and wine tour is a perfect way to indulge in these treats while learning about the local culture. Try this Douro Valley wine tasting and lunch tour in Porto, or this undiscovered food tour in Lisbon. You can also engage in surfing lessons. Portugal has some of the best waves in Europe, making it a popular destination for surfers. For solo travellers, taking a surfing lesson from Lisbon or Lagos can be a great way to meet other travellers and have fun in the sun. Especially if the groups are kept pretty small, you might grab a drink after the lesson with some of your fellow surfers. Your solo travel wouldn't be complete without wine tours. Portugal is famous for its wine, and a wine tour is a great way to explore the country's beautiful vineyards while indulging in some of the best wines in the world. If there's any place in Portugal to do a wine tour, it's Porto. No matter your interests, there are plenty of tours in Portugal that cater to solo travellers. If you need further guidance from someone who is more experienced in living in Portugal, we offer customised one-on-one consultations. These sessions give you access to our expertise on how to live in Portugal and make money online. If you would like to schedule a session with us, find our email address in the description. There are many more things you need to know about the country. That's why we recommend you watch this video and playlist. Click now, and I'll see you there. Ciao!